Whoa, hello. Hey, where'd Alan go? It's Adrian Vincent Phoenix, and I'm here in downtown Disney. And I just got a sneak preview at Buena Vista Street, which is going to reopen tomorrow to guests here at the Disneyland Resort. So we wanted to come on and just kind of give you a preview of what to expect now that I've been in the park and now that I've seen what they're doing, give you an idea of what to expect. So, first of all, they're going to open tomorrow at 10 a.m. My understanding is parking is going to be ready a little bit earlier than that. So if you want to get down here about 9:30, if you're going to be one of the ones that has to be here first in line, remember what opening day at downtown Disney looked like when they reopened back in June. Expect pretty big crowds. Um, Parking is now $10. That starts tomorrow. So make sure that you're ready for that. They've got the self-pay kiosks set up, so you're going to be paying $10 to park in downtown Disney. There is no validation, so it doesn't matter how much you buy at shopping or at restaurants. You're going to be paying $10 to park. And then once you get into downtown Disney, you're going to go all the way through the downtown Disney district towards the entrance of Disney California Adventure, where they have one of the old ticket booth queues set up as the queue for getting into Disney California Adventure onto Buena Vista Street. So you're going to join that queue, and it's a socially spaced queue. There's 6-foot markers, and then you'll be allowed into Disney California Adventure. Once you get onto Buena Vista Street, it's not a whole lot different than it ever was. Um, there are
And
a
Adrian,
few.
I am here and we can show the photos whenever you want. It's Alan
Okay, cool.
DeLinka in Florida, and Adrian's live at Disney California
Okay, cool.
Adventures
Yeah, go
exit,
ahead.
where exactly are you at?
Actually, in the moment, I'm in downtown Disney. I'm sitting in the one of the seating areas by the former AMC theater. So, and I'm far enough from everybody. I could probably take this off because I am seated. So yeah, if you want to start with photos, Alan. So once you get
All right.
on to Buena Vista Street, I mean, it is lightly decorated for holidays. Remember, there have been a lot of furloughs at the resort, and so I don't think the entire resort enhancement team is working right now. So it is lightly decorated for the holidays. There is no giant Christmas tree in Disney California Adventure, so I know that people were really excited to hopefully to see something like that. It just unfortunately there isn't one this year. As you go down the street, a couple of locations are open. So the Five and Dime is open. Elias and Company is going to be open, and that's on the left-hand side. They're doing the whole, queue thing where they're gonna control how many people are in the stores. Now, as most of you know, Orange County went back to the purple tier in our COVID restrictions yesterday, which means that retail is limited to 25% of interior capacity. So there's going to be cast members there at the entrance, and they're going to be checking you. Inside the stores, they've done some pretty major layout changes in the stores to move fixtures farther apart, to remove fixtures, to make it easier to shop, to make it easier to stay 6 feet apart from each other. As you can see where Alan just had the one photo up where they've got the cash registers, queues are set up with the social distancing markers. They've got the plexiglass. So it's pretty much, if you've been in downtown Disney, it's you know what to expect. Out on the street, though, things are a little bit different. So Alan just put the picture up of the red car trolley. That's at the end of Hollywood Boulevard. And that basically is marking the end of how far you can go. That's just past Award Wieners, which has been moved out. Award Wieners is going to be open. They're using mobile order. You can order in person at the window, but they're really, really, really trying to encourage everybody to use mobile order as much as possible. But then that trolley pretty much marks as far as you are allowed to go. There's actually a rope behind it. You're not allowed to go any further down the street than that. They have set up a ton of tables in the street and around the street so that you can sit and you can eat and take your mask off and remain socially distanced. So there's a ton of tables. This particular seating area is outside of, this is actually going down the performance corridor towards Grizzly Peak. And this actually is set up for the outdoor vending carts. This is set
And
up as a seating area for people
how
to
far
sit for.
apart would you say those tables are? It's very hard to
Oh,
tell
I'd
from a
say
photo.
8 to 10 feet. I
Yeah.
know I got a bad angle on that. And there's a lot of different, there's some with seatings and there's some high tops where people can just stand. So I think what's the next photo in that progression, Alan? So this is the Carthay Circle Lounge, which is going to be table service. They have moved the seating into the Playhouse Disney queue, the former Playhouse Disney queue. And so lots and lots of tables, really pretty planners, And again, they've got some high tops. If you're just there for cocktails, you can stand at a high top, or they've got table, or they've got the seated tables. They did a really good job with this, with the lounge. So I think people are going to be happy to be able to go to that. They're going to be using a virtual queue for that as well. So, this is looking out onto Hollywood Boulevard. Now, here's something that's interesting. This is,
What's
now
with
I've
the
lost my,
umbrellas? Are there going to be cast members standing there?
no,
Because
this
what?
is because of the virtual queue. If you see the markers on the ground under each
Oh,
umbrella,
so the umbrellas are just shade positions.
those are shade. Yeah. And
Because what
that's
I
the,
what I what I found was interesting when I was at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and I'm sure it was at the other parks, but I only noticed it very much on display at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Is they had cast members with pads keeping track of how many people were in the store at all times, checking people in, checking people out, making
yes.
sure the capacity stayed exactly where Disney has pegged it.
Yes, they're going to they're going to be doing that here too. They actually were talking. I was when I was in the park, they were doing a test and adjust with some cast member guests that were in there, and I was overhearing them talking about who was on which position. Okay, you're door counter. You're the exit door counter. They definitely have the plans for that. But what you're looking at here is the extended queue into down from award wieners, but also the store that's right there is Gone Hollywood, and at the moment, Gone Hollywood is not one of the stores that's slated to be open as part of this. But we looked inside the store and it is completely decorated and merchandised for Christmas. So I really think that as this test goes on and as the expansion of Buena Vista Street continues, that we're going to see more locations inside of DCA open. They clearly already have this store ready to go. Same thing with the Off the Page, which is the collectible store. That is
And
completely decorated and merchandised for Christmas. So I think maybe a week or two, we're going to get more stores opening.
And what's interesting is here in Florida, I noticed, there's a good number of stores closed. I was sort of surprised at how many are closed at Disney's Hollywood Studios. The interesting thing is that some locations in each park open only weekends, some locations open only weekdays, and it could very well be that they use that model out west with you folks in
Yeah.
California.
Yeah, I expect that. I think for opening day and maybe even honestly through Thanksgiving, we're going to see just the original stores that they talked about.
So one of our commenters on Twitter's asking, hasn't downtown Disney been open for a while? And the answer is
Sure.
yes. Now they're adding California Adventure as an extension of downtown Disney. Go
Right.
ahead, Adrian.
Officially, they are expanding downtown Disney into Disney California Adventure, into Buena Vista Street specifically. So officially, this is just an expansion of downtown Disney. The theme park is not opening as a theme park. It's opening for a limited part of the park is opening for shopping and dining only. So this is looking outside of Soaring Over California. And this is, again, expanded seating area for Smoke Jumpers Grill, which is the dining area right there.
What do we have more? Yeah.
Yeah, I just, hey, that's where the Christmas tree would have been, but there's no Christmas tree this year. So, people I know are going to be disappointed by that. Now, you can do so. There's some really nice photo locations. This is downtown Disney, and this is already open. Some nice photo locations if you want to bring your family and do some socially distanced Christmas photos. There's a really pretty one here. There's probably 4 or 5 of these things set up throughout downtown Disney. And then there's also the only, I would say, real quote unquote Christmas tree is this dude in downtown Disney. This is in the Esplanade area, and there's a big Christmas tree set up, little snowman guy, and a sign that says, make sure you keep your masks on. So you're not going to be able to take your mask off for your family photos there. It's everybody's got to keep a mask on the whole time. So if you are coming for the opening of Buena Vista Street, my recommendation, if you're coming tomorrow, is don't. If you absolutely have to be the first person inside the park tomorrow, get here the parking area about 9:15, 9:30. Be prepared to wait. You'll have to go through security screening in downtown Disney. You'll walk all the way down to DCA. You'll get on the queue there. Depending on how crowded it gets, they may have a virtual queue for that. If you want to go and eat at Carthay Circle, you're going to have to get in line for that, and they're probably going to have virtual queue going for that tomorrow too. if you want to see it, but you don't need to be the very first person in the gate, wait and come after Thanksgiving. And maybe, a weekday after Thanksgiving is going to be a much better opportunity to come. Remember, we always say the sweetest week to come here is the week right after Thanksgiving. So if you don't need to be the first person in the park, wait a week and it'll be a lot easier.
Interesting. Now, what did I do here? There we go. The interesting thing here in Florida has been, and I'll turn my camera back on and I don't need to be this size. There we go. The interesting thing here in Florida has been that, only so much of each park has opened, right? They've called this a phased reopening all along. Right. And then in the earnings call this past week, Bob Chapek acknowledged that they felt comfortable inching that up to 35% from the 25%. And as I reported from both Hollywood Studios this week and Magic Kingdom, I felt the 35% started to get crowded. Hollywood Studios, the reports even at 25% were that it was crowded because Hollywood Studios, that afterthought of a park built by Michael Eisner to open ahead of Universal in Florida, is not doesn't have the same sort of guest flow thinking in especially its older areas that the more modern parks have, right? I mean, Epcot has expansive sidewalks, so even crowded, Epcot only feels crowded in a couple of places, like over at Mexico, where the tequila bar and the quick service restaurant are right across from each other, and there's a pinch point. But otherwise, Epcot feels open and expansive. Hollywood Studios feels cramped. And at Magic Kingdom, especially like in Adventureland, with the queue for the Jingle Cruise yesterday extending in the entire plaza outside in front of the Jungle Cruise, then up the ramp, and then all the way past the Swiss Robinson tree by where the citrus goodies are. That's a lot of people on the sidewalk before you even start getting to anything. Anyway, how busy does it feel at downtown Disney District out there in Disneyland?
Today is, well, here, I don't know. Let me see if I can. I'm not sure that I can even flip this.
Okay, so here's how you turn that camera around. I've been doing this live lately. So if you look for the cogwheel button will give you the icon for the camera. Then you'll see your camera and you select back camera and you'll be good.
You're awesome.
Yeah, I've had to learn it the hard way. So while Adrian struggles, I'll flip through the pictures again for people who just joined us.
How's that?
Adrian showed, I see your other camera. Let me go back to it. There we go.
So, I mean, I'm in downtown Disney right now, and this is the main entrance. And it's not that busy right now. But again, this is a weekday, and at least in Orange County, most kids are back in physical school.
And this is the plaza in front of the old AMC theater.
Yep. Yeah.
Because and so when we're looking at right now is bag check. How much before bag check is temperature screening?
It's hard to tell, but it's around the corner, and it's right there, but it's not very busy at all.
And are is Disney doing the temperature screening itself here in Florida? It's their operating participant, Advent Health, who's doing all the temperature screenings.
Yeah, no, here it is a different provider also. It's oh shoot,
that's your finger.
That is my finger.
I'll go back. While you're switching the camera back. Okay, I was going to say while you're switching the camera back, let me flip through the photos for people who joined us. Yeah, we'll flip through the photos that you shared. The Christmas tree at Disney Springs and a few Buena Vista Street shots. And sorry about the pixelization. The way we've got them here from Adrian today isn't the highest quality because she's mobile.
What can I say?
They look better. It's interesting. They look better on the StreamYard screen here than they do on my big screen that I use to manipulate through them. But lots of seating areas for food and beverage at Disney California Adventure. You said this was a photo op and a blockade point to not let people wander further down the road.
Yeah, that's pretty much the end of the line.
Go ahead, Adrian.
We were having some conversations amongst us earlier today, and I'll tell you, one thing that I'm really wondering how this is going to work is, again, parking is $10 and there's no validation and it's a flat rate. When downtown Disney used to have a metered parking where you paid by the hour, I think there was more of an incentive for people to get in and get out. Um, especially because even after 3 hours, the validation didn't really do much. There's no validation and there's no time limit, which means I think a lot of people are going to pay their $10 and they're going to come in. And somebody made a comment about, it was about to turn into a speakeasy.
And I take it, and we've got a question that, so is all this still free? Parking is not, but downtown Disney and even this area of California Adventure is not going to be an admission area.
Right. It's right. But unless you're shopping or eating, there isn't anything to do. So I don't know if boredom is going to be enough to get people out the door after 5 hours or whatever. We were talking about when Galaxy's Edge first opened, and there was the color-coded wristbands for the previews, where you could only be in for a certain amount of time, and then you had your wristband, and it's like your time is up. I don't know how they're going to do that here. I don't know what kind of problem they're going to have with people coming in and grabbing their Starbucks and drinking it for 5 hours. I don't know, and maybe I'm, expecting worse than it's actually going to be.
And I take it, unlike what we've seen here in Florida at Disney Springs, where they have put entertainment back into Disney Springs in small amounts. They're not doing any sort of roving entertainment or anything like that there at
not that they've mentioned at all. So
all right, very good.
So, well, that's all I've got from California. I'm going to try to come back tomorrow because I do want to be one of the first people in the door to bring it to you people. Actually, if I had my druthers, I wouldn't be anywhere near it. But I am definitely going to try to do it for our readers so that they can see what it looks like.
I was going to say, you're better at that than I am, because I waited all the way till November before I ventured into the parks. And I got to say that today would actually be a perfect day to visit parks here in Orlando, because the weather has not been better since the pandemic started. It is maybe 70 degrees, if that, outside. It is absolutely wonderful.
It's beautiful here. It's about the same here.
So I've got behind me my latest Alani poster that I created.
Beautiful.
This one's on board, and this is my new one, but you can't see it because the screen I use to look at the pictures. Let me see if I turn this off. There we go. So I made my own resort poster for Disney's Vero Beach with one of the photos I took at Vero last year. So actually, everything up there is a photo I took at Vero, including the Disney Vacation Club logo that's on there. That comes from the sign out front.
Nice, very nice, Alan. All right, well, I will sign out for now, and I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll not real sure how we'll do it, but we'll get some photos and all up for you all.
Yeah, and if Todd Pickering has said that he might be up in that vicinity tomorrow, and if Todd makes it up that way, we may go live again. We can go live with 2 cameras. You guys don't even have to be worrying about social distancing. You can actually just be on your own cameras, because yesterday, if you didn't see the broadcast for Magic Kingdom, I had my own personal cameraman and my own personal lighting person, and we were all separated. It was pretty fun. So anyway, I will roll our end credit, and we'll see everybody real soon.
See you real soon.
Take care, Adrian.
Happy birthday, Mickey.
Happy birthday, Mickey. And Adrian, stay right there. I'll chat with you in a moment.
Okay.
Everyone, so long.